Welcome to the lesson, What Objects Are Part of the Solar System? You'll learn about the planets and other objects in our solar system. The vocabulary words for this lesson are solar system, planet, dwarf planet, asteroid, and comet. Do you know how many people live on Earth? Almost 7 billion. That means there are 57 stars in the Milky Way for each person on Earth. The Milky Way is the galaxy in which our solar system is located. You may have seen it as a faint band of light in the sky on a clear night. Our sun is just one of those 400 billion stars. Earth isn't the only object that orbits the sun. Our solar system contains many objects, inner planets like Earth, outer planets, and small solar system objects. Some of these small objects are called dwarf planets. Pluto is an example of a dwarf planet. The inner planets are close to the sun. All the inner planets have solid rocky surfaces. Click each picture to learn more. Mercury's temperatures range from 450 degrees Celsius during the day to negative 170 degrees Celsius at night. The planet has very little atmosphere and its surface is full of craters. Here you can see the order of the inner planets, starting with Mercury, then Venus, our home planet of Earth, and then Mars. Venus's atmosphere is about 97% carbon dioxide. This gas absorbs the sun's heat, so the temperatures on the planet get extremely high. Venus has 167 giant volcanoes on its surface, which could explain how the surface was formed. Earth, our planet, has the right mix of gases in the atmosphere and temperatures to support life. We have a lot of ocean water and continents with many different landforms. Mars is too far away from the sun to get much heat from it. It is called the red planet from the color of the dust and rocks on the surface. The outer planets are much farther from the sun than the inner planets. This means that it takes a very long time for them to orbit the sun. It also means that the temperatures on these planets are pretty cold. The outer planets are gas giants with thick, gassy atmospheres that make the planets much larger than Earth. Astronomers think the cores are rocky and icy. Click a picture to discover more. If you looked at Jupiter through a powerful telescope, you would see red bands. These bands aren't part of the surface, but gases in Jupiter's atmosphere. Jupiter also has a giant red spot, much like the hurricanes we have here on Earth. These two planets are very similar. They both have very stormy atmospheres. Like the other gas giants, they have a thick gaseous atmosphere and an icy rock core. We know Saturn for the rings around the planet. These rings are particles from the size of a speck of dust to that of a car. Some scientists think the particles are what remain from one of Saturn's destroyed moons. Saturn has a gaseous surface with an icy, rocky core. Planets aren't the only objects in the solar system. They're just the biggest. Here are some of the other objects out there. Click an image to discover more. Meteoroids are small bits of debris that break away from comets. When these meteoroids enter Earth's atmosphere, they burn up and cause streaks of light. These streaks are what we call meteors, or shooting stars. If any of these bits reach Earth's surface, we call them meteorites. Moons are rocky masses that orbit planets or other large objects in space. We have one moon. Saturn has dozens, from one larger than Mercury to others less than a kilometer wide. Outer planets have many more moons than inner planets. Asteroids are chunks of rock that orbit the sun. Between Mars and Jupiter, asteroids form a ring around the sun called the asteroid belt. Sci-fi movies show the asteroids very close together, but they're actually fairly far apart. Comets are frozen chunks of rocks, dust, and gas that orbit the sun. When a comet moves close to the sun, the heat vaporizes the ice. This makes the comet look as if it has a tail. Humans have studied the universe literally for ages. It's been more than 500 years since Copernicus explained that the planets orbited the sun. Astronomers have made a lot of discoveries since then, but the universe is still full of mysteries. Let's take a look at some of these. Most of the planets in our solar system rotate or spin counterclockwise, but Venus and Uranus rotate clockwise. Why? Scientists haven't figured it out yet. Now watch Venus rotate. It's so much slower than the other planets. In the time it takes Venus to rotate once, Earth rotates 243 times. Again, we aren't sure why yet. There's a lot left to learn. Which of these statements about the outer planets are true? Click all the answers that apply, then click OK. The outer planets are often referred to as gas giants because they are so dense. The outer planets tend to have more moons than you cannot land on an outer planet like Saturn because, though its core is solid, its surface is not. The outer planets are often referred to as gas giants because they are so. The outer planets tend to. You're close, but try again. You cannot land on an outer planet like Saturn. You cannot land on an outer planet like Neptune. You got it. Outer planets have thick, gaseous atmospheres with solid, icy cores. They generally have more moons than the inner planets. Mercury is closer to the Sun than Venus. Can you think of some reasons why Venus has a higher surface temperature than Mercury? Type your answer in the box, then click OK. On Earth, we can see many meteors in the night sky. Very few of the meteoroids that cause meteor showers ever reach our planet's surface. But meteoroids do strike Mercury's surface. Can you think of some reasons why? Type your answer in the box, then click OK. We've talked about the planets, asteroids, meteoroids, and comets in our solar system. Before we finish, let's take a quick look at the main points you covered. 8 planets orbit our Sun: Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Diagrams sometimes show the planets' orbits as straight lines, but planets don't travel in straight orbits. It's hard to show both the size of and the distance between planets to scale in one diagram. The inner planets are smaller than the outer planets. They have solid, rocky surfaces and thin atmospheres. The outer planets are referred to as the gas giants. They are farther from the Sun than the inner planets. Asteroids, meteoroids, and comets also orbit the Sun. Now that